Kings sign and trade for Demar DeRozan. They not like us. We got Demar in the city. James, what were your initial thoughts on hearing Demar DeRozan will be a Sacramento
This is
King
what
for
I've
the
been
next
waiting
3
for.
years?
I've been waiting for this.
Holy man, I was driving back from the Bay actually, and Bonnie texted my phone about 4 times, and I didn't even look at the messages. I just felt bzz, 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 bzz. I'm like, oh yeah, it happened. It's go time. So I mean, when I found out, I was just excited because being a Kings fan, and I will say this, I haven't been a Kings fan my whole life because we've been losing my whole life. So I started right about like I'll say like when COVID hit, I became a domestic. But being a Kings fan, being from Sacramento, we don't get many big names to sign with us. You know, we have to usually rely on the draft or, you know, Malik Monk was probably a good signing. But our biggest signing in recent times before this one was Sabonis. You know, good player, but not really a superstar like you say. Where Demar, whether you want to argue current or former, has had that superstar status. So it was just good to see a superstar choose Sacramento and want to be here. And when you talk about the fit, like I just think it's a great fit. So I just instantly started thinking of the way Fox's game is going to change, the way Sabonis isn't going to have to be a score threat anymore. And, you know, Malik Monk's going to actually get to be a sixth man instead of an undermined starter. Yeah, I had a great reaction when I heard that news. I was probably in my car making my girlfriend mad as hell, just screaming.
Toddy, you let everybody know it was coming. You let everybody know it was here. So what were your thoughts when you got that alert on your phone of DeMar DeRozan being a Sacramento King?
DeMar DeRozan, you are a Sacramento King. That was me in the group chat the whole weekend. You know, you're seeing things about him kind of just, all right, he's going to go meet with the Kings. Then he's meeting at the Capitol. Then all of a sudden he's at Mercedes and he's at the Golden One Center. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, they probably, like, a deal's done. They just haven't announced it yet. Like 10 minutes later, it gets announced. DeRozan walks out, Golden One, to the infamous Kendrick Lamar song. And, you know, the crowd goes wild. I saw a bunch of, I think it was a report from Mark Stein, if I'm not mistaken, saying that De'Aaron Fox was like in the meeting and he had a strong influence on why DeMar ended up resigning there. I don't know if there's a connection between the two or not, or it was just De'Aaron wanted to play with DeMar. But this is a good signing. Kevin was kind of on the fence about it. He was very high on Brandon Ingram, obviously because he's younger. But DeMar DeRozan is Mr. Consistent, I'd say, over his entire career. He's a 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. His last All-NBA season was about 2 years ago. And that was the year he averaged, I believe it was about 28 points a game. And, I mean, I get it. DeMar is not a three-point shooter by any means, but he is a midi magician, mid-game merchant, as some people might say. A guy who can create his own shot would be the perfect third option. He's been a number 2, number 1 option for the majority of his career. Him coming to this team, who really doesn't really, I wouldn't say by the numbers, don't really need more offense. But when you kind of break down the late game situations on, we need a guy to go and get a bucket. DeMar DeRozan is absolutely perfect for his Kings roster. When you look at De'Aaron Fox and he's getting double teamed, okay, who is De'Aaron going to give the ball up? Is he going to give it up to Sabonis? Sabonis is a great player. He's not a guy who can kind of create his own shot by any means. He's a guy that can, you know, crash the glass, double-double machine, is an offensive threat, but he's not a bucket getter by any means.
My bad, not to interrupt, but he's an offensive threat, but he's not a score threat.
There we go. He's not. That's what I was trying to say. He's not a scoring threat like DeMar DeRozan is. He's a guy that can create his own shot. Late game or late in the shot clock, if there's 5 seconds left, you need a guy to go get a bucket. DeMar DeRozan's your guy. I think he was like second behind Sabonis in minutes played. Doesn't get hurt. He played 79 games last year. So Kevin is a guy that's like, oh, he's hurt. He's this, that, and the third, and this, blah, blah, blah. You need consistent. You need health. DeMar DeRozan's your guy. I get it. He's about to be 35 this year, but I I think he's going to fit well in this Kings offense. I get that he doesn't shoot threes well, but I saw a stat that he shot like over 40% from like the left corner from 3-point range. So I don't think he needs to shoot threes really. I just think he just needs to bring his offensive prowess to this Kings team and just be there. And he's gonna average 23 a game. Why can't he average 23 a game? He's been doing it his whole career, as Kevin scoffs at the idea. I mean, De'Aaron's going to average, 26, 27?
I think
DeMar can average 20, 23? He's averaged at least 20 points a game his entire career, Kevin. Anywhere he's went.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. We all see Toddy's jersey. This ain't Toronto DeMar. This ain't San Antonio DeMar. This is Chicago DeMar. What do the Kings need? Was Kevin happy to hear that we made the biggest free agent signing in Kings history and of my lifetime? Yeah. This can't be it. This doesn't put us over the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the big top dogs in the West. This move doesn't do that. And I went to the group chat and I said, so DeMar is the fourth option? And they looked at me crazy. Crazy. We have 2 All-NBA players that are option 1 and 2. Sabonis isn't a scorer, but as the three of us know, they throw that bitch to the block a lot. The mid-range, he does a lot for this team. He got the ball in his hand a lot. And Malik Monk is now going to be a starter. We saw how much he had the ball in his hand as a 6-man. Now he's going to get that extra 10 to 12 minutes a night. Malik Monk, we did not pay him $80 million to come in and sit behind DeMar. So I have it as De'Aaron, you have Sabonis, then you have Malik Monk, and then DeMar DeRozan could be the fourth option. Like Toddy mentioned, he's going to be 35 years old. We'll be paying this man until he's 38 years old. We all know there's not a lot of LeBron James kind of 38 years old walking around. So what is he going to be at 38? You know, this team, we're a young team besides Sabonis and Fox. Of course, you have guys like Trey Lyles and things like that, but this nucleus is a younger team. DeMar doesn't fit that build. And if we're going to bring in a guy like that to be our fourth option, we can't get a winner. We can't get someone to bring something to the locker room.
Not a winner?
What does he want?
Not a winner.
He said 6-time All-Star, 3-time NBA, All-NBA. I ain't hear a championship. I ain't hear a conference finals. I ain't hear none of that.
Yeah, let's give him some credit. He ran into Cavaliers LeBron over and over and over.
Is that a winner, Kevin? Come on, man. You got like he's some loser ass player.
We traded away a champion for a nigga who ain't won nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Harrison was a champ. Harrison brought championship experience.
The stats over politics. Let's look at the numbers. Kevin. Look at Harrison.
We got to do that.
All respect to Harrison Barnes. He's a North Carolina Tar Heel. There were times where you didn't even know Harrison Barnes was on the court.
Oh, there were times I knew he was on the court because I was looking at him the entire
not an offensive threat. You even said it yourself in the playoffs. If Harrison Barnes just makes that corner, that top of the key 3.
What if? Game 4.
What if? And now you replace him with DeMar DeRozan.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not better than Harrison Barnes. But when Harrison Barnes came, the Kings were in shambles. He was a part of building this brick by brick.
Yeah. And
to throw that away and bring in DeMar DeRozan, who is going to want the ball, is he going to be okay with averaging 18 a night? You're 35, my guy. We're paying 3 guys 3 times your salary. You ain't coming in here and being All-NBA. You're not coming in here and being an All-Star. The only way DeMar DeRozan is an All-Star is if the Sacramento Kings have the number 1 seed and we get 3. Only way. We have an All-NBA guy in Sabonis. We have an All-NBA guy in Fox. We've seen DeMar in his career be a 1 or 2. This is in Chicago. You know, we want to win games. You ain't chucking up all them shots. It's just not what it is. And the offense we play in, all 5 dudes on the court besides the Sabonis can shoot. So now we're adding another guy who can the left corner. Besides the left corner, he can't shoot nowhere else. He's a mid-range guy. He's gonna clog up the paint. You have to look at spacing. What does this do to our spacing? And the biggest thing that I took away from this is, what does this do to Keegan Murray's development? Keegan Murray was supposed to be that next guy to help us get over that hump. So you're telling me next offseason we're gonna pay Franz Wagner money to be a fifth option? No way, no how. Someone's gonna have to give here. And Toddy keeps sending us, go get Kuzma, go get Kuzma. We're not paying Kuzma that money to be a six man. We're not.
Kuzma living in Sacramento.
Keegan's not going to go to the bench. I've been sending stuff into the group chat. The reason Lloyd Marketing is not in Sacramento is because they said we're not trading Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray's not going to the bench. At this point, we just need to continue to bring in more depth. Toddy sends in a trade for us to get Cam Johnson. I think that'd be a great job. That's a great guy. He's another Trey Lyles. He could really be what we thought Sasha was going to be. We thought Sasha was going to come over here and have that impact. He just couldn't stay on the court. So we'll see what he does in Toronto, but this is a good move, but like I said, it doesn't put us above the top echelon. So with this move, are we a top 5 lock? Are we a playoff lock? Guaranteed. Signed and delivered. We're going to go from 48 wins to 52, 53. DeMar DeRozan, this is a really good team is what I'm getting at. DeMar DeRozan doesn't have to come in and put on the cake.
Oh, no.
So what does he look like?
Right, Kev?
What does he look like as another guy? We did not beg Malik Monk to stay in Sacramento for $80 million.
Make less money.
To be a fourth option. Exactly. What the hell? No. He is the third option, if not the second. We're not DeMar. I mean, there's not enough basketballs to go around. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm a Sacramento Kings fan at the end of the day.
You could argue DeMar is the second option, to be honest.
No, you can't. Over who? All-Pro Domantas Sabonis? Hell no.
Argue that.
I do think DeMar is going to be the second option. You know, if I was a coach, just as a playing basketball, for me, I didn't get too far. I only play high school, but I watch a lot. I try to play a lot. I think DeMar, you're silly if you don't make DeMar your second option. Now, is he going to be dominant on the ball like that? Absolutely not. But that's not necessarily to me like second option means, you know, if De'Aaron can't get a shot, then you get the shot. It's, you know, if we go back to our fast-paced offense, you know, De'Aaron looks for his shot, or then that's not there. DeMar look for your shot. Okay, that's not there. Let's get a ball to Sabonis. Go into something real quick. I think it's going to work out. You got DeMar dominating the mid-range because if you have one defender on DeMar DeRozan right now, I'm sorry, you're getting cooked. So any team's they're gonna have to throw two guys at him. Before that was Fox having to deal with two guys every time he got to that midi. So now his dribble drive penetration is going to open up more. He's going to be able to get to the lane. Sabonis not going to have to focus on getting 16 a night. He can go back to – if Sabonis give me a double-double with 18 and 15
with cheese
and 8 points, I'm good. But when we have situations where Fox can't get a shot because he's getting doubled, Murray's having an off game, Malik, you know how Malik Monk gets last season. Sometimes he just would check out. You know, it's like now we have a guy who's a known bucket getter who you have to respect his bucket getting. Keegan Murray's going to get more open looks on the three, which before we just had him as a shooter. We tried to turn him into some KD off the dribble, turnaround, and that's not the guy. So he's going to get more open looks. Kevin Huerter gets pushed to the second unit. So now we have a real second unit rather than, oh, Kevin Huerter, give me 5 minutes. Oh, you trash. Get Malik Monk in. Now we have a real second unit where Malik Monk can be the point guard.
Who's the starting five?
My starting five, Fox, DeRozan, and Murray. I know they're never going to put him in the starting five. I don't know why. I wish they give a chance, but I'd want Trey Lyles and Sabonis.
So Malik comes off the bench?
Yeah. Malik took solid pride in being the sixth man of the year last year. If you followed him on Instagram, you know, when they had the vote going, he was constantly posting, hey, look, vote, you know, who's the voting? I'm in the last two. It's me and Naz Reid. And then when he lost, you know, he was really upset. He thought he should have got it. So I don't think he has a problem being the sixth man because, you know,
it's not like he's not going to finish games. He'll finish games.
Now, that's where it gets to is you had Malik Monk being a sixth man, and sometimes you were only giving him 22 minutes a night. I don't care if Malik Monk plays poor in the first, second, third quarter, you put him you give him 33 minutes, 32 minutes a night.
He has to play that. Like, that's the amount of minutes he has to play.
If anybody's minutes fall, it's Keegan Murray's minutes. That's what I think. I think Malik Monk's gonna be cool being a 6-man because he's gonna get his own unit. It's really gonna be him. It's gonna be him, Keon Ellis, Kevin Huerter I don't know how they'll rotate Kevin Huerter and Keon. Alex Lynn showed solid development last year, and then I don't know who else we have at that 4 spot, but I think DeMar did a little bit more for us. Now, like you said, he's not that piece that's gonna get us top 5 or anything like that. We still need a big man because right now the league is bigs. We can score all day long, but we need somebody to go down and defend.
Y'all made the 3rd seed 2 years ago.
Right.
And I feel like your team is better. I feel like last year you guys were competing. You guys were like 5th, 6th, and then Malik Monk goes down or Kevin Huerter goes down. So you guys were trying to fill a void that wasn't there. But you guys have a bona fide scorer on your team who's been a bucket getter his entire time he's been in the league.
His entire time. And he played in one of them.
Upgraded. You guys got better. So there's no reason why you guys shouldn't be a top 4 or 5 seed in the West.
He's seen mini playoffs. He's played in one of the best eras ever. So
Eastern Conference Finals. Come on, Kev. Say he ain't a winner.
He's not a winner.
He played against LeBron.
What did he win? He played against LeBron. But that's neither here nor there. Let me go ahead and put an end to this debacle. Malik Monk's not coming off the bench. He said it in his interview back. He wasn't coming back to be 6-man. That shit's gone and went out the end. He's not coming off.
He can start.
So my question to you guys is, after hearing what you guys said, is a second option the second highest scorer? Is that what a second option is to you guys?
I'm just going off of the resume of what we've seen DeMar to be. Overall, his entire career, he's been a number 1 or a number 2 option.
Now, so because that's all he played, he can't play nothing else? Is that your reasoning for him being the number 2 option?
Well, I'm saying everything kind of goes into it. Like, you got De'Aaron at the meeting trying to recruit you to come. So I feel like that kind of goes into it. Like, all right, we need another scorer. I feel like De'Aaron is the number 1 option. I feel like we can all agree on that.
Absolutely.
The number 2 option is kind of up in the air. Is it Sabonis? Is it Derozan? Is it Malik Monk? We resigned Malik Monk to a team-friendly deal where he could have got $40 million more to go anywhere else. But he wanted to come back and be a Sacramento King. Now, I'm not opposed to James' starting lineup, but I think the starting lineup will most likely be De'Aaron, Malik Monk, Sabonis, or DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis, Keegan Murray. I feel like that's probably the starting 5. A little small, but that is another thing that the Kings need is big man depth. You have Alex Lynn on the roster, but you would like to kind of go out and get another big body for this Kings team. But yeah, man, scoring I feel like should be easier for them now that they have a guy in DeMar DeRozan who's pretty much a guaranteed 20 points a game, at least. And I feel like that's going to help you guys tremendously.
All right, let me ask you guys another question. Today, you're starting a franchise. Number 1 pick. Only niggas on the board are DeMar and Sabonis. You taking DeMar?
I'm starting a franchise today.
Today, you have 1 pick left. It is DeMar and Sabonis. James, who are you taking?
Man, Bonnie, you'll be surprised, but I'm actually taking Sabonis on that one.
But he's now the 3rd option. But we all think he's the better player.
Yeah, but he does so much more than score, though.
He does so much more than score. His resume gets to put him in this notch.
That situation.
There are tiers to this. So it's the all NBA Kings, Malik Monk, and everybody else.
DeMar DeRozan is a 3-time All-NBA player. How many times has Sabonis been All-NBA?
Twice. You've been throwing that out a lot. Can you name me the years? Or are you just saying it because that's been on the head and the ticker?
I just want to know how many times
I can tell you how long ago 2 of those were.
Sabonis?
No. DeMar.
DeMar, like I said earlier, it was 2 years ago. That was the last time.
His last one. What was his second to last one?
That was like 20.
The Raptors still wore that jersey. That's how long ago it was, brother. This isn't San Antonio DeMar. This is the Chicago Bulls DeMar, who was brought in to be a second option to Zach LaVine. So he comes to Sacramento a way better team than Chicago, and because his resume and because he played in LeBronto and because he came against LeBron, he's a winner. Like, if it wasn't for LeBron, they would have got there. All I'm going to say is this, you guys. They trade out for him for Kawhi. Yeah. They trade out for him for Kawhi. What happens?
Is that what?
They trade out DeMar for Kawhi, and the Raptors are world champs.
Man,
that's Kawhi Leonard, though.
I'm just saying. DeMar's the winner. Could win there. Went to San Antonio. Could win there. Went to Chicago. Could win there. But he just falls in the winner category because he was on the other side of LeBron James at the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, he's absolutely not a winner. But I guarantee you put prime LeBron on the other end of that Toronto run, Kawhi is getting stopped at the Eastern Conference Finals.
Kevin he's a known LeBronologist on the show. So he would, for sure, if LeBron didn't leave the Eastern Conference, Kawhi probably would have been hoisting that chip.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't be talking about the whole league took a break that year. But no, Kawhi still went on his run. I see what you're saying. DeMar couldn't do it. He couldn't. If you play LeBron that many times, you better figure out how to beat him. He couldn't do it. Going back to what you said, I do think DeMar could defer from his second option status.
Yeah. He's 35 now.
Yeah, you're 35. Let me chill a little bit. Y'all need.
I'm not saying he wants to be the number 2 option. He might want to just go back and let the young fella go ahead and do it. But when you need him to go get a bucket, he's there. I'm here if you need me. Mm-hmm. I'm here if you need me, DeMar. This is what y'all gonna get.
That's what we need. Here when you need me. We don't need 23, 24 a night. Here when we need you. And James, I know this is your first episode, but I'm going to have to get on one of your takes. You said that having DeMar add spacing for Keegan. We throw DeMar the block on the left elbow, Sabonis is on the right elbow. It ain't much going on, and when we put Sabonis on the wing, niggas aren't even looking that way. So the spacing still isn't there.
Now, DeMar plays a lot of short corner, too. You know, he can play a lot of short corner right there on that, NBA court don't have a volleyball line, but plays a lot of short corner, wing, mid. Sabonis usually stays in the key elbow to elbow. You know, we'll figure it out. But that's why I also said I wouldn't have Murray getting as many minutes with DeMar. You know, if Monk has to start, then I'm bringing Keegan Murray off the bench. I'm not
come off the bench.
I'm not leaving my bench without a good one of my best players. I'm just not.
Like I said, we're going to have to pay in Franz Wagner money next year. That's what's looking at the other side of this coin. We ain't bringing him off the bench. He got to play.
Is this contract?
He played like shit
next year.
Next year's contract year for Keegan?
Mm-hmm. So we're going to have to pay him. But
you know what? Can you tell us what Franz Wagner's numbers were just quickly? Was it 5 for 212?
5 for 212. Could be 227. He'd bring home a DPOI or first team. But we have some comments to get here that I've been waiting for. So, Toddy, I'm gonna center this around the Kings fans because you're going to have different responses than us, and we're just not here for that. It's positive energy. You got DeMar DeRozan. So, James, we have a comment saying the Kings made a big trade but will be in the play-in. Do you agree with that?
Oh, let's run down the West real quick. Not in any order. You got the Nuggets, the Wolves. Who else was it? Mavs. You got the Nuggets,
Lakers.
The Wolves, the Mavs, Lakers, the
Thunder,
Pels, the Thunder,
Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis is gonna be back.
Phoenix
gonna fall off. Phoenix,
Houston, come out and play. Yay.
It's not a crazy comment, but I just think everybody's like, oh, y'all made the play-in last year. We made the play-in and we literally lost Malik Monk, Kevin Herter. Trey Lyles just hurt the whole season. Fox starts the season with injury. If you're watching, it's clear. So I don't think we'll be in the play-in, but I don't think his comment's too crazy of a take because the West is just it's a shit show, man. Like you'll be 5 one moment, you win a game, now you number 1. Lost one game, I'm back to number 7. Like it's a shit show out in the West, man. So
3 weeks before the season, man, the Mavericks were 10, finished at 5. All you gotta do is get hot when it's going. So unfortunately, this is Mr. Wesley Renner, so I'll handle this comment. He said 35-year-old DeMar DeRozan is not a big name, but I hope it helps y'all make it in the play-in next year. Wolves back.
Wolves back, baby.
Like I said, for Sacramento Kings fans, we're local fans. Wes lives in Seattle, but he's a Minnesota fan. He's like Toddy. There's a whole bunch of teams they could have chose a lot closer, but they just picked the good teams. No ties, no nothing. So, you know what, Wes? I said it before the show or during the show in the first part of it. Top 5 lock, Sacramento Kings. You heard it here first.
Wolves back.
And this last one goes to James and I. What do the Kings still need? I think we need a big man or maybe a backup point guard like Russell Westbrook. What do you think the Kings now can add to this team?
Do not go get Russell Westbrook. Please don't. I say the Kings need another big and probably another guy that can shoot the 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. We need a big, and it's like we said earlier, we don't like if it were to have Ben Zaki, we don't need you to come in here and score. I need you to sit in front of the goddamn rim like this. get a rebound.
That's all.
Be able to catch the ball, and when you get bumped in the chest, be able to bump back. We just need a big man that can do that, in good shape to play good minutes, and like Bonnie said, a consistent shooter. Like I would have loved if we could have grabbed KCP before he went to Orlando, or I would hope that Herter stopped shooting these falling to the side jumpers off of every roll that he gets and would go back to being a stand.
Hey man, you better respect Jaevon.
He ain't in Atlanta no more. You don't get to call him that. It's just Kevin.
I think he's a great player. But yeah, we need a big man and another shooter, and we'll be all right. But that'll take us to top 3. We're still top 5 right now.
Top 5 stamp. So moving